It is Monday morning, so we will be over there in a couple of hours or so. And normally I'd be driving along there on the queue from home to work. Well, I have put the heater on. And it has an outlet in my cabin, so it's all nice and warm. salty old sea dogs arrived. Kevin and Murray have tied Catmantoo up with 2 bow ropes and one on the stern. And it started raining again. Our master's on the ground. They're just getting the blocking adjusted correctly. They're just lengthening the tow, and very soon the trailer will be underneath Catmantoo. Final adjustments. That's Murray. Here comes Kevin, the gondolieri. Hydraulics for the trailer. Oh, Kevin's disappearing from view now. Oh, it sounds like he's happy. So now he will wiggle those levers to lift us up a little bit. Go check down the back. This is why we don't have giants.
Yeah, it's a bit hard on David. I do find I tend to do a lot of it under the trailer stuff. Well, David gets under there and he struggles a bit.
He's off to have a look from the stern. So he's happy with all the positioning, and now we're lifting the boat. Oop, the back's going up. And I think the front's gone up a bit. Down on the hydraulics. We've shortened up the tow, and up the ramp she will go. rough, cold weather. I'll park her on the concrete here so she can be water blasted. All the stuff gets collected into a sump. It does not go back into the ocean. Well, that's just little wee shrimps. So there's most of the barnacles have stayed away. Got a couple here. Sail drives different anti-fouling, and I'm not sure the prop speeds work that well this year. It's Wednesday and there's something missing. Oh, where is the boat? Now, where is Catmantoo? They said she was going to be over this way. Now, there she is. Right, we'll pop in the wastewater from the sink hose. Oh, it's hard to do these things one-handed. Oh, there we go. Sun's getting fairly low during the day now. Move the traveller across, tighten her up. That should stop her from swinging. I've been where Double Joy's parked, where the yellow cat's parked. Been where the monohull with the blue stripe, second along from us, is parked. Here we're on the far side of the yard over there. Been where that big katana cat is. First year on the far side of the rigging shed where the mast farm is. So there's obviously water getting in just here and a few other places, so I'll put some plastic over it to stop further water getting in, let it dry, and then look at a bit more caulking. And we use alcohol to clean. I've got exterior masking tape and a plastic sheet. That should allow things to dry out a bit and stop the water getting in. I've took the dinghy on its side so it can't get water accumulating, and we've coiled up the lines used for warping into the slip. Need to let them dry before we stow them. Under the floors on both sides of the centre section are tanks, so there's 3 water tanks here, forward, middle, and I'm standing on aft. The other side's got a forward and aft water tank and a central black water sewerage or holding tank. So this front one we know has got a leak, I think from being stood on last year when the floorboards were out. It's cracked, so we've got to see if we can get it out without disassembling the galley, and there'll be water under all these tanks from the leaking window. I'm hoping if we can lift these bearers up, we can tilt the tank up and out. It's dry on the hull side of the forward one. There's water in here. There's a small leak above it. The big leak's over the stern one. And the bearers are all one length, so we'll unscrew them. It's damn hot and humid. I've got the outer one and the middle one unscrewed, keeping them there to kneel on at the moment. Inner one looks like it's screwed through into the galley. And here's a suggestion that the tank was popped in when the galley was in, so if we unscrew that bit and see where we go from there. Some considerable time later, we have managed to free the top up of the forward tank. Certainly wasn't easy. Well, the construction is this was flat on the tank. It was screwed to what I suppose will be the kick board underneath, and a little bit of construction adhesive, which didn't help, and some long pocketed screws that went in these holes and were about here, and very hard to actually get the screwdriver into the heads down there, but we got it. So the structure holding it down, or the tanks down, is out. Obviously one doesn't want to stand in the middle of the tanks, which are fiberglass. It looks like it's partially glued down. I'm sure we can mobilise it. It looks like there's a wee bit of epoxy in the front corners. We'll break that. Not the tank, but the epoxy. Well, we've chipped the epoxy away along that front edge. Well, it looks like we got the top loose. I was hoping the whole tank would come out. Just going to get it fully loose and then we'll see how things are. But obviously the seal or the glue joint had cracked, which is why it was leaking. And I've taken off the supply hose from the tank, and these are breathers. Interestingly, the hose, which is garden hose, is held on with cable ties, so we'll cut them. Right, well there's the tank. I was kind of hoping it would come out in one piece. I still need to look underneath it, so that might be the next job. Loosen it up. I'll lift it up fairly easily. Haven't got doubts yet, but we'll get rid of the water first. I'll lift it out fairly easily. I'm sure we can get it back in with the lid on. Unfortunately, it shows what I feared, which is water underneath. There's no easy way of getting to it, as each of these bays is separated by frames to floor level, and the tanks sit very closely. Might be able to get some pipes in so we can get it out in the future. There is a scupper down there, that grey thing. It was blocked, but there's water flowing in from the next one aft. Deepest part is forward, so that will be helpful. Well, we've had showers on and off. A lot more heavy rain, but hopefully my plastic will keep that out of the window joint. We'll mop the water out of there. Time for afternoon tea. Let's see if we can get this next tank out before we go home. Right, I've got the toe kick out, so We need to remove those vents or possibly fill lines. Oh, I thought it was a bit heavy. It's full. We better pump it out. Seems a bit strange. I spent all summer conserving water. While we're waiting for it to pump out, the good news is, although there was water in there, there's no sign of water into the structure. The lines you see is just dirt on the surface. This is actually going down. I'll turn on another tap to help it on its way. Tank's empty and I can start to lift it up. Switch back to the remains in the half tank on this side. So it's coming through now. Good, well it can come out and go back in one piece. And as expected, more water into this one. Well, it's coming up 5:30. It's 2 tanks out, 1 to go. The forward, which was leaking, obviously the lid was coming loose from the tank. The other 2 aren't leaking, and you can get them out without pulling the galley out, thank goodness. Here's the 2 tanks. Getting down under the boat out of the way. Alright, tanks are here. The cat that was up on the trailer when we came in is now behind us, and it's time to go home.